All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something that's, well, it's like the invisible architecture of our entire world. It's this fundamental agreement that lets billions of us live and work together without everything falling apart. We rely on it every single second of every day. So, what is it, really? Let's take a closer look. So what is it? I mean, really think about it. What holds our ridiculously complex world with all its billions of people together? What's the glue that stops it all from just flying apart into total chaos?
Well, for starters, it's not a physical force like gravity, holding us all in orbit around the sun. Nope. The force that holds society together, that's something we made up entirely on our own.
And it's definitely not just luck. There's no way our ability to build massive cities, run these huge economies, and cooperate on a global scale is just some happy accident. It's way too organized for that.
The answer is actually something much deeper, and yet it's completely human-made. It's an invisible agreement, a kind of shared understanding that we all, you and me, participate in every single day, whether we realize it or not.
Okay, so Section 1, rules we live by. Before we can even touch the big formal idea of law with a capital L, we've got to start with something a bit more basic. Let's talk about the everyday rules we all follow, a lot of the time without even thinking about it. All right, Section 2, a definition of law. It's time to put a formal name to this invisible agreement we've been talking about. To really get it, we need a clear, solid definition of what law actually means. And to do that, we're going to ground this whole discussion in a really solid source. We're pulling our definition from excerpts of Foundations of Australian Common Law. Okay, here it is. Law consists of the accepted rules that govern how a society functions. Now, at first glance, that seems almost too simple, right? But trust me, every single word in that sentence is doing some serious heavy lifting. So let's do exactly that. Let's break it down piece by piece. First up, those first two words. Accepted rules. This part is absolutely crucial. Why accepted? Because it tells us that law isn't just about a powerful person forcing rules on everyone else. No, it's about a collective agreement. It's about consent. These are the principles a whole community has, for the most part, willingly chosen to live by. It means we're all participating. Okay, next up is that powerful little word, govern. This is the action word. Think of it this way. These rules aren't just polite suggestions or, helpful hints on a bulletin board. Not at all. They actively guide, direct, and manage our behavior. They're the traffic signals of our social interactions, providing the structure that keeps everything moving. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. How a society functions. This is the why. What's the whole point of all this? Well, this is it. These rules exist for a very clear purpose: to create a system that actually works. A system that's predictable, that's stable, and that makes it possible for all of us to live together in a cohesive group instead of just a random collection of individuals. All right, Section 3, how society functions. So, we've got our definition locked down, but what does this all look like in the real world? What are the actual practical consequences of having a society that functions under these kinds of rules? And wow, this slide really puts the stakes in perspective, doesn't it? It's like looking at two completely different worlds. On one side, you've got a world with law, built on that foundation of accepted rules. That's where you get order, safety, and the ability to actually plan for the future, to make progress. But on the other side, a world without law isn't some free-for-all paradise. It's chaos, it's fear, it's stagnation, where you can't trust anyone and nothing ever gets built. So really, you can boil the whole job of law down to these three core tasks. And check it out, they map perfectly back to our definition. First, the rules govern us to create predictability. Second, the whole point of a functioning society is to provide safety. And third, the very fact that they are accepted rules is the magic ingredient that enables massive, large-scale cooperation.
Okay, let's bring it all home. Section 4, why law matters. This is the big one, the most important idea, really. Why does any of this matter? Not as some dry definition in a textbook, but to you and me, right here, right now.
Well, it means we have to completely rethink a really common misconception. A lot of people think of law as just this external force, right? A bunch of complicated rules handed down from on high that we're all just forced to obey. But it's not that at all. It's a reflection of us. Seriously.
You can think of the law as a giant mirror held up to our community. It shows the entire world, and it shows ourselves exactly which rules we, as a society, have collectively agreed to accept. It's like a living, breathing snapshot of our shared values at any given moment.
And that leaves us with a really powerful final thought to chew on. If law is really built on this idea of accepted rules, and we know societies are always changing, always evolving, then the most important question isn't just, what's the law today? The real question is, what rules will we, all of us together, choose to accept tomorrow?